Welcome to Lab Notes. I'm Joe Fetterman with Colliers Life Science Advisors, and we're here today with Phil Brooks, the Director of STEM Workforce Partnerships at the University City Science Center. Phil, welcome to Lab Notes.
Thank you. It's a joy to be here. Thank you for having me.
Well, we're glad to have you. One of the themes that we tease at here at Lab Notes is workforce and workforce and community and how to extend the involvement of the Philadelphia community in everything that's going on in the life sciences sector. So you are really one of the right people to be talking to because you have in your purview a handful of initiatives that really are all about introducing the life sciences to folks who might not otherwise be exposed.
Correct. And I love doing what I do as a professional that's done STEM partnerships or STEM kind of engagement. It's been something that I really fell into and was a challenge at first, but combining STEM and workforce development has been a joy for the past 2 years at the Science Center.
Well, we've had an opportunity to talk about some of the programs. I think one in particular that we've talked about is your mentorship program. So let's dive in. We'd really like our listeners to really understand what it is you're doing and what your programs are all about.
Sure. So we developed a program in partnership with a number of other really amazing folks called Building an Understanding of Lab Basics, or the BULB program. And this really is an opportunity, a workforce development program to engage West Philadelphia residents and just Philadelphia residents as a whole with this life science community. We do it on a very basic level, but at the end of the day, the participants really walk away with a better understanding of what's needed at the very basic level, the entry level in the life science community, life science industry. A part of that program is mentorship, and we firmly believe this is going to increase the networks, the opportunities, and engagement of all of our participants in really meaningful ways. The Science Center recently put out a blog post called Doors and Foundations. I'll continue to talk about this until the end of 2025 because it's a really good snapshot of the opportunity that the participants of the BULB program have with some of the really amazing mentors. We recruit most of our mentors, if not all of our mentors, from the STEM community, more specifically the University City area, 3675 Market Street, all around this space, because there's so many life science companies, there's so many STEM companies, and there are individuals that are CEOs, senior scientists, individuals who don't even fall on that STEM spectrum, but maybe a general counsel or are an accountant or a HR lead or a talent acquisition manager that really want to be able to mentor an individual within this space and really leverage that there's more than just scientists at life science companies. You can do more at life science companies that includes all types of business operation roles. So the mentorship component to what we're doing is the highest level. It's probably the most important thing that we do. And again, I'll consistently talk about this Doors and Foundations blog. If you haven't read it, just check it out. You'll understand why I'm smiling, why I'm so hype about this blog post, because it really gives you a snapshot of what a mentorship can be with some of our participants and really have that opportunity to engage, to connect with someone with an opportunity potentially within career development or an opportunity within the life science industry.
And Phil, you had some very specific desires from mentors in terms of really the way I hear it, opening doors for the proteges that they're working with. So I'd love to hear a little bit more about that and maybe encourage folks to sign up to join the mentor program.
Yeah, absolutely. So I would definitely start with a story to say we in summer of 2020 we started our program. It was a virtual program, 2 weeks long, and this was essentially our litmus test to say, all right, We want to be able to work with a partner that can work with adult learners from all different walks and backgrounds, different education levels, different work experiences. So we put together a selections committee team of different folks from across the area. And again, the selection committee team are, in fact, folks from the STEM industry. So they reviewed applications and they said to us, hey, Phil, these applications are good for the program. These applications are not good from the program. And I really cherish and value that feedback because some of the selection committee members are also some of our HR leads at some of the life science companies, which we can talk about a little bit later on. Um, but in the first cohort, we had an opportunity to have a mentor be one of the kind of like prime individuals for one of our participants. And that story kind of like leads to that participant participated in the program. She did her 2 weeks. She was phenomenal. She learned a lot. We learned a lot, and she kind of really took what we had as a blueprint to the next level. A little bit later on, a life science company reached out to us and said, "Hey, like we know about the participant. We want to do a paid internship with her." This took me by surprise because this wasn't my intention for the first cohort. So they reached out and they said, "Hey, we want to snatch her up for a month, have her do the onboarding process as if she was an actual staff member, and pay her for it." So we went through this process, and it was successful. The October of 2020 was the time frame that the participant went into the lab, uh, did a whole bunch of different things, and got an amazing experience out of the deal. Um, and this is just a small example of one of the doors that opened up from the mentorship opportunity. There's others, but that's our primary one.
Yeah, okay. Um, One of the things that I heard though was that one of the opportunities here is for the mentor to really provide introductions, to really expand, as it were, expand the universe of possibilities in some ways. Maybe these are people you might want to talk to. These are introductions that might lead on to other opportunities. I don't know if there's a lot more to say about it, but it was certainly something that impressed me. And just a funny aside, I remember doing that with my son when he was 24 years old and came back to Philadelphia, and the job that he had come back for didn't materialize. And so I did exactly that. I gave him 10 folks. I said, call these folks up, and I kind of primed the pump. And
Yep.
it's really an effective thing. So I'm interested to hear a little bit more about that aspect.
Absolutely. So I have the saying all the time. It's not what you know, is who you know, and that's been a very concrete focus of my professional life specifically, but then something that we absolutely want to be able to talk to our participants about. And it's a we've talked about access. If you look at K-12 education, we talk about access, we talk about resources, we talk about the digital divide. We talk about healthcare, we talk about food access, we talk about all these really amazing things. Um, right now my focus are the parents of those young people, or the parents who maybe have been displaced by the pandemic, or looking to get into something different, or looking to do something that is trade related, or looking to do something that's going to maximize their life, or and put their family in a position of wealth, not just being rich, but in a position of wealth, and being able to manage that. And I can go down a rabbit hole with all of that, but I think part of the reason why we hold the mentorship component of this in such high regard is that mentor can open those doors. And very plainly, very transparently, we vet our members. I would love to have that conversation with that mentor to really see what their intentions are. Is this just something that they want to check off a box just to say that they did it? Then you're not the mentor for the program. If this is something that you wholeheartedly believe in, that you have a connection with, or that you can draw parallels to your own life with, because you may have struggled, but now you're in a successful position, then you're absolutely the mentor we're looking for. Because I don't think that, shared experiences are one thing, and that's something that we hold in high regards, but building new experiences with new people to connect to job opportunities, it's gold. It's so valuable. And I want to be able to leverage a lot of the partners that we have, just in our current area, our University City area, to say like this is the we know that the life science industry is growing over the course of the pandemic. The graphs and slides that are kind of thrown out there, it's still going on an upward trend. How do we get more people connected to that? Part of that solution is mentorship.
So let's step back and talk about the core program. What started as a 2-week program, and in your last iteration was 4 weeks. Talk about what happens, and what is the experience that one of your participants has, and how are they prepared? Let's dive
Yeah,
into that.
absolutely. We partner with Eclose Institute, really amazing human beings over there. They've worked with everyone from young people to Philadelphia school district teachers and everyone in between. So they have the experience of doing work and doing research related work with adult learners. So I reached out to them, and a participant typically goes through 2 weeks of programming. Again, very basic, not super college heavy, not high level, but at the very basic level. And let me take a step back too. We we really wanted to identify what some of the basic threads were with a lot of the life science company individuals. So we worked with a number of partners, including University City District, Chamber of Commerce's CEO Council for Growth, and eConsult Solutions to put together a cell and gene therapy and connected health needs assessment study in 2019. From that data, we really wanted to understand what were some of the trends, what were some of the predictions that would happen over the next 5 years and above, to really be able to understand where people can be placed. So with the first 2 weeks, we said, we have a list of things that we would love for folks to be able to learn, including simple things that you would find in a lab space or a lab environment. Then, with the 4 week iteration program, we added financial literacy, because this was something that we heard from our past participants as something that they wanted to have. So we partnered with citizens in their firm belief and their kind of pillars and hardcore focus on workforce was there. So we had several folks from Citizens come out and do financial literacy sessions with our participants. And the last big component to it was our friends from Harrisburg University. Their professors came out and really kind of cap-ended everything by talking more about cell and gene therapy concepts and principles. So we talked about cell culture. We talked about some of these things that are necessary for folks to do in the lab space, but we also wanted to understand, where the participants were coming from. Not all of them were scientists. Not all of them have been in the lab space. A lot of them have unique kind of work experiences. So what the participants went through was hard skills and basic lab safety, financial literacy, and then a really focused training on cell and gene therapy concepts and principles. So walking away, a participant over a span of a month would have learned all these new skills to apply to potentially an entry level role, an opportunity within a business operations role if they have that background knowledge of accounting, marketing, whatever. Now they're walking into an interview opportunity, or they can structure their resume to say, in addition to my work experience over X amount of years, I also have this bulb learning experience focused in life science that can be additive to the company, that could support the company in whatever that company specific endeavors would be moving forward.
Phil, as we wrap up, let's hit a couple of nuts and bolts. How many
Yeah.
cohorts a year do you do?
Whew. So this year was 2 cohorts. Next year for 2022, we're looking to do 3 cohorts a month long. That will be incredible. I can't wait to do it. My heart is pounding because it's a lot of work, but at the end of the day, we have a lot of really amazing partners that want to see us succeed. So we're gonna try and knock it out of the park with 3 cohorts in 2022.
And what do you expect the size of each cohort to be next time?
Absolutely. So we absolutely want to stick to 12 for now. We want to be able to not move into quantity, but quality. We also want to be able to do more reports about how participants are landing really, really amazing opportunities with life science companies.
Okay, final note. How can people engage with you either to contribute their time or alternatively support you financially? What are the vehicles for that?
Yes, just email me. No, just reach out to me. We're constantly evolving. We constantly want to have people with different perspectives and different views on this industry. Again, not just science focused. We definitely want those scientists, but also in different fields. So if folks want to reach out, pbrooks@sciencecenter.org is my main email address. Reach out to me and we can take it from there.
Phil, thank you. Keep up the great work because the way things are going in Philadelphia, we're gonna need all the talent we can have. So thanks so much. We'll talk again
Agree.
soon.
Absolutely.